Okay, how's everybody doing today? Give me a second. If you could just do me a favor and let me know in the chat box that you can hear me, that would be great. We'll get started in just a second. Give me a second to get organized here. All right. There we go. Okay, great. Okay, so if you have questions for me, put them please in the chat box so that I can answer them. And you can do that in the chat box if you're watching me on Zoom, or you can do it on YouTube. Either way, that would be great. So anyways, let's get started. And let's see if we've got any questions. Okay. Well, I don't think I can answer the I don't think I can answer the first question I have, but I'll read it out. I'm sorry, I just don't know the answer to this. It's not my place. Can we make government three houses to prove the 23,000 US HSR HQB $14 trillion bill in the next? I have no idea. Sorry. The political questions, I can't answer them. Sorry, I'm not going to answer them. So you can all make what you want out of what's going on politically right now. It's outside of my expertise. So let's see, next question. Where to put non-dilutive grant funding in traction or innovative slides of the pitch? Well, funding is funding. It's in neither place, actually. It's an interesting question. So look, if you have grant funding, congratulations, but you could put that in the investment piece of your pitch. So typically I would show that in my financials. And what I would do on the financial slide, and this is different than the hockey stick thing that a lot of people teach, but my view is make it into a very simple table. Make it into something that's simple, like an income statement with a few extras, one of which is cash, another one of which is investment, and that would be an investment. And just put it in that way. Simplest, easiest way to do it. Okay, next question we have. By the way, the Zoom audience, for those of you on YouTube, if you want to get priority in getting your questions answered first, become a member of my free group, Zero to Pitch. It is free. There are links to get there on my YouTube page. All you have to do is just click on over, answer a few questions, and you're in. It's that simple. So do it. It's worthwhile. And if you want to take it up another level, and this is for both groups, you can become part of my paid group, Zero to Pitch Gold, all of $125 a month. And I'm literally giving away over $20,000 worth of value in that group for $125 a month. It's a great deal. There is no yearly requirement or anything like that. It's month to month. If you decide you want to leave, you can leave. Totally up to you. If you want to join for a year, you get 2 months off. Not a bad deal. So anyways, let's go to the next question. If a company is organized in Delaware but operates from California, which most companies in California do, by the way, including mine, is it best to set up the company in California and subsidiary in Delaware so taxes are not paid? Okay, the tax stuff, not going to get into taxes. That is something for your tax attorney to help you with, your accountant to help you with. Personally, I wouldn't play games with it. California, by the way, Delaware, where you are incorporated, does not mean you cannot operate in a different place. It is fine to operate here in California. Yes, you'll always have to pay state taxes in California, but if you're trying to set up subsidiaries, I think it has to do with where your headquarters are. Don't play games like that. Focus on the important things, which is the execution of your business. When you're playing games like that, your eyes off the ball. Don't do it. Okay, let's go to the next question. What are my thoughts on the gig economy sector in India? I honestly don't know it well enough to comment one way or the other. Sorry. I'm just not an expert in that. Next question. A lot of questions today, which is always good. What signs are in a term sheet that signal the investor may be predatory? I've seen instances where the founder, after 5 years of work, are left with only a little over. Well, if you fail, you're going to be left with nothing, but let's ignore that. So I did a video on this actually, on what to look for in a term sheet and what to look for with investors before you start working with them. So let me kind of go through the list off the top of my head. You can find the video on my YouTube page. So the things I would be looking for is first the behavior of the investor. It's kind of like dating would be the way I would describe the investor relationship. The investor is going to be on their best behavior when they are courting you. If they're not treating you properly at that stage, red flags should be going up. The second thing I would look for in terms of predatory and predatory behavior when you're looking at the term sheet piece of this is, number one, is what are the liquidation preferences? Is it 1x or 2x or 3x or 4x or even crazy like 5x? Anything beyond 1x is crazy. By the way, the 1x or the 2x means they get their money back first. That's typically how liquidation preferences work. So they get their money back first. So 1x means if they invest $1 million, they get that back first before you get anything back. If it's 2x, then they have to get back $2 million. You want it to be 1x. Anything beyond 1x, I would say, is probably predatory. Then, is there a tranche in the term sheet? A tranche means, in other words, if you raise, let's say, $10 million, they'll give you $5 million up front and then another $5 million based on you meeting certain requirements or whatever. And you're thinking, what's the problem with that? Well, here's the problem. There's always an out in a tranche. So if the investor doesn't like you for whatever reason, you're done. And there's nothing you can do because there's always an out. You want all your money up front. So those are the basic things I would look at. And then the final one, and this is if you're dealing with a venture capital firm, not typically for angel investors, but VCs. And this is again going to sound backwards, but hear me out. You want your major investors to have a board seat. Now you're thinking, why would I want that? Isn't it better if I don't have a board seat? If they don't have a board seat, then I have more control. No. Here's why. Number one is the board doesn't have the power. It's the investors that have the power. It's the money. So as a board member, every board member has a fiduciary responsibility to you. Every single one of them has a fiduciary responsibility to you. So if a board member, if you do not, I'm sorry, if an investor, I'm sorry, I got distracted for a second. If an investor is not a board member, then they have no fiduciary responsibility to you, which means they can do whatever they want. Now, they can still do whatever they want, but they have to pay attention to the rules. So it is a big red flag if a VC fund says, gee, golly gee, we don't want our board seat. And we've written you a check for $10 million. Don't think this means, oh, great, they have no control over us. We just scored. No, the exact opposite. So anyways, I hope that helps. All right, let's go to the next question on our list. Okay. Thank you for all your help. What is an acceptable TAM, SAM, and SOM range? I can't give you an answer for that because it's very specific to your business. But what I would tell you is this: focus on TAM and SAM, and let me give you the definitions of TAM and SAM. I always hate the SOM thing. It just gets confusing. You don't need it. So let's start with total available market. What is that? That corresponds directly to the vision of your company. Where do you see it going? What do you see it doing? That is the TAM. And It is just what you can make. So in other words, let's say that you determine that the total available market, let's say, is $10 billion. I'm just making up a number. It's $10 billion is total available market for where you're going, the vision of what you're going to be doing, all the products you see you doing, all the services you see yourself doing, and all the markets that you can attack, because now you have everything available to you in terms of money, marketing channels, et cetera. And let's say that equals $10 billion. That $10 billion, here's the check. The check is, if you get 100% of the market, does that mean that you're doing $10 billion a year in business? If the answer is no, you've done the calculations wrong. If the answer is yes, you've done the calculations right. That's your total available market. Your served available market is what you can attack today with the type of product that you're going to be introducing when you start, and the markets you can attack with the marketing channels. So it's kind of a division of a couple different things. That's your served available market. So let's say that that equals, in this example, $1 billion. Again, the check is, would that mean if you got every single customer to do business with you and got 100% of their business, would you be doing $1 billion a year in business? If the answer is yes, then you did it right. Hope that helps. Okay, let's see what the next question is. By the way, my promos will keep coming today. If you are watching me on YouTube, you can get to the front of the line with your questions by becoming a member of my free group, Zero to Pitch. There are links here for it. All you have to do is click the links. You can get in. There are courses on there, community section where you can ask and answer questions. It's great. And if you want to take it to the next level, if you're really serious about growing your business, then join my paid group, Zero to Pitch Gold, all of $125 a month, $20,000 worth of value. If you decide to get a year membership, you get 2 months off, and you get a free one-on-one conversation with me for an hour. And you know what? That is worth $2,000. So not so bad. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay. As a Swiss pre-seed startup, would you recommend focusing on the local market or targeting the US in parallel via distributors? Oh, this is a really good question. So this is kind of generalized because I don't know what you're doing. But in general, if you're in Switzerland, or let's say you're in Australia or Korea or wherever you're located, what are you going to be better off doing first? Probably going after your local business, as long as there is local business. That's what I would do first. Now, the distribution path of distributors, here's the challenge with distributors. They're not just distributing your product or service. They're distributing a lot of other companies' products or service. So how do you get their attention? How do you get them even to sign you up? It's not easy. My company, we had a dual strategy, interestingly enough, of signing up distributors and manufacturers reps so that we could cut our costs on sales. And this was something we kind of knew going in, that, and it's interesting, it's a broader answer to your question, but there was one distributor in particular that we really wanted to sign, and it took us a couple of years to sign them up. A company called DigiKey, which is located in a place called Thief River Falls, Minnesota, but they were the biggest distributor of semiconductor components, or number 3, actually, I think at the time, in the United States. And they had a unique model, and that's why we liked them. And the other companies had a more of a sales-oriented model. The problem when you have a sales-oriented model is you have to get people's attention. It's hard to get people's attention because you're competing against everybody else. When you're a small company, nobody knows you. So you have a challenge of getting people to sign you up, which isn't so easy. So you have to kind of figure that piece out. So that's what I would suggest to you, just so you can kind of understand what to do here. It's not so easy. So I would first probably try and focus on my market and then be really thinking about which distributors are going to give you the time you need, because it's not going to be easy to sign them up. So let's go to our next question. I've met a few in startup sector. Okay. The suggestion for my app, I think he means a few investors. Okay. The suggestion for my app is to first have an MVP ready and revenue incoming. But in order to develop the app and thoroughly, we will require funding. How should I go about this? Okay, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but here's the bad news. The market is speaking to you, and investors kind of determine the rules of the road, so to speak. So when we think about raising money, and we're thinking about, okay, what are we going to go do to raise money, especially at the beginning here? What do we do? Because it's not going to be so easy to raise money right now. From investors, and depending upon the investors we're talking to, probably impossible, especially with an app. And what they're saying is we need to see proof of life before we're going to give you money. That's a typical answer. That's what I would have told you if you had asked me the question. So what do we do? What are the sources of funding? Friends, family, and ourselves. That's source number one. Angel investors, source number two. And source number three. What is source number three? That would be VCs. VCs are going to be the most unlikely. Angels are going to be the second most unlikely. Friends, family, and our own funding. That's how you're going to have to get started. That's just the way it is. I don't make the rules. I only live by them. And that's the rules of today's world. So this is what you're going to have to do. I know it's not what you want to hear, but that's just reality. So anyways, with that, let's go to our next question. Oh, somebody said, oh, wow, please do this sometime again after 5 p.m. Central Time. Okay, thank you. I wish I could participate. I have to work instead. Best wishes. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate the compliment. Let's see. Next question. By the way, if you want priority, you want to go to the front of the line, jump on Zoom for all of my listeners watching on YouTube right now. That's the way you get your questions answered first. If you're not a member of my free community, Zero to Pitch, become one. You can do that instantly. There are links on my YouTube channel to do this. Just click the link, hop over there, answer a few questions, and you're in. Okay, let's go to the next question. This is for my Zoom community. My business plan do start from local economy boom, but the infrastructure funding need to get government top layer approval first. What are the next steps for you? Well, if you need government approval, go get the government approval. You're kind of telling me already. I mean, it's very hard without specifics, to give you an answer, but you just got to lay out the steps, and maybe they're possible, maybe they're not possible, but that's what you're going to have to do. All right. Sorry not to be able to answer many of your questions today, but they're just not for this particular person that's asking me these types of questions on Zoom. I'm just sorry. I just don't know them. Let's go to the next question. You always say that your CTO must have business sense. Yeah, I believe that 1000%, by the way. Does a CEO need to have technology sense? That's a great question. And the answer is yes. It doesn't mean, by the way, that you have to be technical. And I've seen this. And I've told the story, since it seems like you've read a lot about me and read some of my stuff before. And in one of these stories, I mentioned this guy named Matt, who used to work for me years ago. And Matt wasn't technical, but Matt was very smart. And he was in a technology company. He needed to be technical to succeed. And Matt eventually rose to become executive vice president of this company. And now he's CEO of a public company, technology company, I don't know, worth $20, $30 billion or so. And he's doing quite well. But Here's the thing that Matt had that you need to have too, which you're alluding to. You need to have really good common sense. You need to ask good questions, and you need to not be something that you're not. If you're trying to prove as CEO, let's say you're non-technical, that you are technical, you will lose. Full stop. Try not to be something that you're not. Be secure in your skin of what you are. And if you're not technical, that's fine. Just keep asking questions. And if something doesn't make sense to you, ask why. Why are you saying that? That doesn't make sense. And keep asking questions until you're satisfied. Don't let people, throw the wool over your eyes. Don't let them tell you, oh, it's technical, you wouldn't understand it. You know what I would say? Try me. Because you know what? A good technologist understands how to communicate at a level that everybody can understand. I hope that helps. It's a really good question, by the way. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay. Can you comment on all levels of your service? Example, closer and longer term guidance and funding, networking, what level of engagement with the company that you're willing to enter? Wow, it's way too much, to answer here. Here's what I would tell you. If you are interested, this is coming from my Zoom audience. By the way, this is true for the YouTube audience. Go to my website, brettjfox.com. There are videos on there that you can watch. There's explainer information. Go to my coaching section, or my pitch training section. You can kind of learn what I have available. That I have high-end coaching available. I have stuff through Zero to Pitch, which is the free group that you're in right now. I do these AMAs when I can. I give away 99% of my stuff for free. And then there's Zero to Pitch Gold, which is my paid group. So there's group coaching for $125 a month. And if you're interested in working with me on a one-on-one basis, you can apply. Space is limited. I only work with a limited amount of people at a time in my one-on-one business. But if you're interested, go apply on my website. That's what I would tell you. All right, let's go to the next question. If a fractional CEO is interested in joining my startup, but is already working with a competitor, should I say no? What the hell is a fractional CEO? A part-time CEO? I'm sorry, I'm a little incredulous. First of all, don't hire a fractional CEO. That's a huge mistake. In fact, don't hire a CEO at all. And here's why. If you're the founder and it's your idea and it's your vision and it's your dream, even if you have never been a CEO, and let's say you're a technologist in this mythical example I'm coming up with, even if you're this person, you're this technologist, you should be the CEO. You know why? Number one, because it's going to be very hard to find a really good CEO for your company just when you're starting out. The Eric Schmidts of the world, and by Eric Schmidt, I mean I think the CEO that became CEO of Google, who was forced on the Google founders almost 30 years ago. Eric Schmidt had tons of experience. Those people are few and far between for a startup. So the person you're going to get if you're trying to find a CEO is probably not going to be very good. Just don't do it. Step up, be the CEO. You'll be surprised at what you can achieve. That's my advice. Okay, next question. This is back to my Zoom audience. By the way, for the YouTube audience, if you want your questions answered and you wanted to get priority, the best way to do that is to become a member of my free group, Zero to Pitch. You can find links for it on the YouTube page. Just click the link, answer a few questions, and you will be invited in. Very simple. And if you want to take it up one more level to my paid group, all of $125 a month, you get $20,000 of value for that. Join Zero to Pitch Gold. There's an explainer video on the site. You can learn tons. $125 a month. If you want to get a year membership, all of $1,000, and you get a free one-on-one session with me, which would cost you $2,000 in real life. Not bad. Okay, next question. I have a co-founder who is a specialist in the vertical. Okay, great. He's not so business savvy nor technical. Okay, he is a friend and a former collaborator. I want to be fair with him. However, I'm not sure of the equity split because although he sees the vision, it feels like he doesn't have the urgency or the drive. Okay. Deep sigh. I'm going to tell you something tough, which I think you already know by the question. You're going to have to tell him no. He's not right for your startup. And it's really the last piece, which is the tell. When you start talking about he doesn't have the urgency or the drive, that's a killer. You can't have people like that in a startup at the beginning. So just say no to this person. You want people that are fanatical about what you do, are true believers in your vision, and are going to run through walls. They don't care about the odds. They don't care about distractions. They don't care about titles. They're just going to get stuff done. That's the person you need. This person, sorry, he may be a friend, but if you want to keep the friendship, tell him no. Move on from him. Sorry. Okay, let's go to the next question on our list. What do you think about raising capital from a group of angel investors through a subscription-based platform? Oh, the alarms are going off. When you already have an MVP and an active user community. Well, I don't know what the subscription-based platform is or means, but why do you need a subscription-based platform to raise your funding? To go back to the previous person that was asking a question about raising money and needed money for his app. Again, the list. Let's start from the most likely to the least likely. Most likely way you're going to raise money right now, friends, family, and your own money. Whatever you can cobble together, that's the most likely depending upon where you're at in the process. Next most likely is angel investors. The subscription thing, I'm not sure how that works. I don't know why you need them, how it's going to help you. It sounds like they're going to take a cut from whatever you get, which scares me, or they're going to ask for a cut up front, which scares me even more, and you're going to be out the money. So angel investors would be second most likely, venture capitalists would be the third most likely. So I would focus on the most likely, which is friends, family, and my own money. Whatever you can do to get out there, start selling, get revenue. If you have an MVP, get people to buy it. That's what's going to help you get to the next level, which will make it easier for you to get more investors. That's what I would do. All right, let's go to the next question. I'm raising funds for my startup. We have an MVP and our first customer. Good for you. VCs are saying, top VCs say we are too early. Should we approach lower term VCs for the next round? Would that be easier? Well, yeah, it would be easier. This is almost the identical thing. I think, let me give some more tough love to everybody listening to this. The other tough love and the other hard thing is this. For every 100 face-to-face meetings or Zoom meetings in today's world that a VC will take or an angel investor will take, they will invest in one company. One. That's it. It is not a given that you're going to be able to raise money. It is really hard to raise money. And I think that's the thing that most people do not realize or understand. It is hard to do it. There's a lot of competition out there. You're competing against all these other companies, not even in your space, for money. So you got to have everything together. And if you have one customer, congratulations, but talk to your VCs depending upon what you're doing, probably aren't going to be interested in what you're doing for just one customer. That's the challenge. That's the problem you have. So, and maybe even not lower tier VCs. And I don't know how much money you're trying to raise also, which may be the other part of the problem. So, anyways, as I'm saying, I have a video, by the way, on who you should raise money from too. So you can find that one on my YouTube channel as well. Go watch it. It'll help you. All right. Oh dear. No, no, I'm not answering that question. Sorry, Dan, I'm not going to answer the last question you asked. You're getting way into the politics here. Sorry. Okay, let's go. Do we have any more questions? Okay, next question we have. Brett, may I get first $50,000 in 1 month? That's going to be hard to do from you. No, that's a flat no. Sorry. I don't know what you do, but I'm not investing. Sorry. Whatever it is, I'm not investing. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news in that. I only invest in very specific things that I'm absolutely expert on. If I'm not expert, I don't invest in your thing, which sounds like it's extremely political. It is not anything I'm interested in investing in. I wish you the best of luck. Okay, let's go to the next question. I'm currently speaking with an angel investor. It's not so much, and I'm pre-revenue, so I asked that we do a SAFE. Is it common for angel investors to ask for equity? Yes. Or it can go both ways. By the way, a SAFE note is an equity instrument, just so everybody understands. It just means it's not priced yet. But even there's a price on there. So go learn about how safes work, to understand all the nuances of them. Every angel investor wants equity. That's how they make their money. So if you don't offer them equity, be it in a safe note or in a priced round, they're not going to invest. Full stop. So I hope that helps, but that's the answer to your question. So understand what safe notes are. It's not a debt instrument. It is an equity instrument. You can go to the Y Combinator website. They have explainers there in terms of how they work. They're the ones who I believe invented it. So just go there and that'll help you. Have you reviewed my business plan? No. Sorry, I'm not reviewing people's business plans. Business plans, by the way, since we're on the subject of business plans, let me explain why, since I'm laughing about this a little bit. But in today's world, if you write a 30 or 40-page business plan, you're just wasting paper. Nobody's going to read it. You're not going to even read it. So why are you doing it? In today's world, a business plan is your pitch deck. That's describing what you do. You're going to use it. You're going to keep it up to date because you're always pitching somebody something. That's your business plan. Okay, let's go to our next question. Is it a good idea to raise large funds from HNRs? I don't know what HNRs are, by the way. So HNRIS at the beginning, pre-product, I don't know that acronym. I apologize. I just don't know what it is. But if you're talking about large funds, large amount of money before you have a product, again, that's very difficult to do. It's been done. I did it. I've worked with other people that have done it, but typically here are the things you need to do to be able to do this. You have to be going after something really big, typically, number one. Number two, you have to have a track record of success, something that points to that you and the team around you are the right group of people to be able to execute this, that mitigates the risk for the other side here. That's typically how you do it. Okay, next question. How can I get angel investors to be my teacher, I think is the question. Or how can I reach the network whereby I can see and find them? Well, interesting you asked this question. If you become part of my free group, Zero to Pitch, I will be giving a webinar on this next week on this exact question. So all you have to do to join Zero to Pitch, there's a link on my YouTube page for that. Click the link, answer the questions, join, and then come to the webinar. I believe it's next Wednesday at this time, actually, I believe too. So if you're available today at this time, you can be available next Wednesday at this time. But it's only going to be available to members of Zero to Pitch or subscribers on my website. That's it. It's not going to be available to YouTube. Okay. Next question. What do you reckon is the ideal way to meet investors, angels, or VCs if you don't know anyone or have no warm intros? Okay, as I said, I'm doing it 2 in a row, the exact same question. The answer is the exact same. Come to my webinar and learn the answer to this. And I'll walk through that with you exactly how to do this. You have limited options, right? If you don't know anybody, you can't get introduced to anybody, but I'm going to teach you how to do that anyways because our networks are bigger than we think. Then the answer is cold emails, and I'll teach you how to do cold emails. I'm going to walk through that whole process with you in the webinar next week. Okay, high net worth individuals, that's what HNRI stands for. Thank you for that. But my answer remains the same. Even for high net worth individuals, it's going to be hard to get people to jump. Maybe you can get them to jump. Maybe, I don't know. But again, friends and family is going to be the most likely. Friends, family, and yourself. That's what I would tell you. It's going to be hard. Okay, next question. Can we skip joining incubators and join accelerators? Well, you don't have to do either. And joining incubators and accelerators, depending upon who you are, and what they do, and who they are, a better way to answer the question, you may not want to join them. So being part of an accelerator is not a guarantee of success. So, be careful who you're going to work with. All right. Do we have any other questions? Perfect timing right there. Something pops in from my Zero to Pitch audience. And the question is, in your experience, what's your personal feelings on seed registration, seed reg crowdfunding, such as with WeFounder? Okay, I have absolutely no experience with crowdfunding. I've never done it. I have never worked with anybody that's done it, interestingly enough. So it is a total black hole to me. I have nothing to tell you about it, whether it can work or not work or anything. So do your research. Try and understand what the pitfalls are of work, of what works and what doesn't work in this area. It seems to me that, and this is a total guess on my part, but the whole thing is really related to the pitch and how you pitch people on this and understanding the nuances of that. But take that with a grain of salt. Sorry, I can't give a better answer to your question. Next question, also from my Zoom audience. Do you have expertise in guiding the pitch preparation in a variety of technology areas, including diagnostics and healthcare? Yes, 100% yes. I have worked with people in healthcare. I have worked with people in diagnostics. I have worked with people in software. I've worked with people in hardware. I've worked with people in non-hardware. I've worked with people in multiple industries. The industry is the least important part of this process. bar none. That's what I would tell you. So if you're interested in getting my help, you've got a couple different options. Since you're already a member of Zero to Pitch, you can get some basic help there. If you want to take it to the next level, hop on over to Zero to Pitch Gold, $125 a month. That's it, $20,000 worth of value. And you could be in office hours this afternoon if you wanted in 3 hours. So totally up to you, but that's what I would do. And if you want to take it to the level beyond that, apply for my one-on-one coaching, which is a much more expensive option, but that's the other option for you. Okay. Which link for Zero to Pitch? There should be a link for Zero to Pitch. That's the link that you want to be able to join my free group for startup CEOs, Zero to Pitch. All right, let's go to the next question. All right, we have no next questions right now. Okay, well, cool. So we'll see whether any more questions pop up. While I wait, I'll give you guys a minute or two. While I wait for questions, again, let me tell you the options you have for working with me. If you are watching me on YouTube and you want to get involved in my free community for startup CEOs, it is called Zero to Pitch. There is a link for it on my YouTube channel. Click the link, answer a few questions, and you're in. It's that simple. If you want to take it up a level from there, you can join my paid community, Zero to Pitch Gold. Costs all of $125 a month. That's it. $125 a month. And you can become part of that group, which is pretty cool. Okay. I was looking to join for environment, connections, events, mentoring, grants, and funding, which is all missing in my tier 3 city. I have 2 domains. The accelerator are from either the same domain, which is not sector agnostics. Okay, not exactly sure what the question is, but the free group is there for you. So, you know, there are like 1,600 members of the free group right now. So there's tons of people in there from all over the world. I think every continent in the world except for Antarctica, there are people that are members of the free group. So you can become part of the free group. You enjoy that, you want to take it up a level, become part of the paid group. Many of the things that you're looking for, you can get out of the free group, and then from the paid group, you get more. Can't give you investors, sorry about that, but I'll give you a lot of the other things you're looking for. Okay, next question. How do we discuss one-on-one engagement with you? Some of my emails to school were rejected. Okay, don't know about that, but anyways, the way you can do a one-on-one engagement with me, or you want to talk to me about that, go to my website, brettjfox.com. Pretty easy. Go there and follow the prompts. Go to coaching, and there will be a link there, you know, to apply for one-on-one coaching. Apply, answer the questions, and I will get back to you on your application. It's that simple. Okay, the next question we got maybe time for a couple more questions today. Have so many companies ready to use our platform that I had to create a waiting list and pause operations so we can focus on raising money. We have not allowed any deals to be completed on the platform because it's just not ready to do that yet. What we promise at scale, okay? We've done a few test transactions which worked fine, but again, we are not ready for prime time. Launching too early is not an option as we service the global content licensing industry. I have extensive experience in this industry and created alone with the help of an A team An excellent product. Okay, well, good for you. We have bootstrapped until now. Who and how do I approach the raise a seed round? Well, I have no idea the who and how. Come to my webinar next week, and I can help give you some ideas on that. That will help you and give you some ideas. It's just such a broad question because not every investor is created equal. I don't know how much money you're trying to raise. I don't know which sector you're in. I don't know where you're located. All of these questions determine who you should talk to. The how of how much money you should raise, that's also in question because you may get that wrong too. So you want to make sure you get all of these things right. And then the question of your strategy of what you're doing, I'm not 100% sure of it. It's debatable, quite honestly. I know you believe that what you're doing is right, but you may need to show a little bit more for people. Maybe you need an intermediate product beyond your grand vision of what you do too. Not exactly sure there, but ignoring that piece, let's assume that you're right. Come to my webinar next Wednesday. It will help you. Let's go to the next and final question today. This is going to be from, I think, we'll see how long this takes me to answer. This is from my YouTube audience. While fundraising for a foundation model company, I am facing significant challenges due to competition from big tech. Is there a way to get funded if my product can't be repurposed for a niche market? I'm going to give you a suggestion here. So if you're competing against a larger technology company and you're trying to go head on versus a larger company and it's in their sweet spot, that's going to be a tough one, to win. Usually when we go up against a larger company, we want to be going in the periphery of what they do, a business that's not that important to them. If you're doing that, then you're still okay. But the thing is, the repurposing of a product or whatever, you really have to make Act One work. The concept of being able to pivot, maybe you have the chance to do that, maybe you don't. But you really want to make that first thing that you do fly and work. That's the key thing that we want to get done here. So make that go. Make that work. That's the key. That's what we want to do. So market choice is really important for you, which you're kind of pointing out. A really great book on how to think about this. In fact, it's kind of like it used to be a Silicon Valley Bible back in the day, and I still think it is, quite frankly, is a book called The Innovator's Dilemma by Clayton Christensen, the late Clayton Christensen, a professor over at Harvard. If you haven't read the book, read it. It is very eye-opening on how to think about markets and market choice. That's what I would tell you. So highly recommended. It will certainly help you. Okay, I have time for maybe one more question. If you have a question, pop it in the chat box and I'll be happy to answer for you, Zoom or YouTube. I'll give you guys a minute or so to do that. Dan, your questions, man, I'm just sorry. They're just so broad, nobody can answer them. All right, doesn't look like we have any other questions. Okay, well, thank you everybody very, very much. Final promo for the day. If you are interested, Zoom audience, and you want to take it up a level, hop on over to my free group, Zero to Pitch Gold, all of $125 a month. Tremendous value. If you enjoy these types of meetings and you want to have office hours where we can actually talk to each other, then do that. That would be great. You'll learn a ton. Okay, one question just popped in right at the last second here. I'm going to answer it if I can. I have a question. For example, I have an idea that what I want is to connect a certain company is in a certain area in another country. Then I need them to join and I can work like Okay, I don't understand the question. I'm really sorry. I don't get the question. So, anyways, YouTube audience, if you want to join my free group for startup CEOs, Zero to Pitch, you can do that. Just go on over to the YouTube channel, click the link Zero to Pitch Gold, join, answer a few questions, and you're in. That's all you need to do. And if you're interested in taking it up another level, Zero to Pitch Gold is your answer for that. Okay, with that, thank you all so much. Always fun to do these. Next week, there will be a webinar for the Zero to Pitch audience. Take care, everybody.